wishing you a very happy, fabulous New Year 2025. And what a wonderful week to start the new year, having Ritu on the other side of this webinar, where we are going to present Grant Thornton's success story, how they have envisioned, bringing AI-driven technology into the recruiting and hiring space, how they've implemented and the way they have adopted the platform to drive the outstanding output using the AI driven technology platform. So let me take this opportunity to introduce first Ritu, who is a dynamic leader who heads the talent acquisition function at Grant Thornton Bharat and who has been instrumental in transforming recruitment into a strategic value driven function within the organization. With a focus on innovation and operational excellence, Ritu has redefined hiring processes, delivering impactful results that align with the organization's objective. And her proven expertise into leadership hiring and RPO management, showcases her commitment to driving continuous innovations and enhancing stakeholders' experience. Through her passion for fostering collaboration and empowering teams, Ritu has streamlined recruitment delivery while ensuring that Grant Thornton team attracts and retains the top talent in the industry. Her leadership has not only optimized processes, but also reinforced the company's commitment to achieving collective hiring goals and long-term success. So please join me in welcoming Ritu, who will share her inspiring journey and insights into the hiring transformation story at Grant Thornton. Welcome, Ritu.
Thank you, Alok. I'm more than honored. I think amazing introduction. I don't need to say a word anymore about myself. But thank you everyone for joining in, and I'm honored today to be part of this session, and certainly it's a privilege to share this space with all of you. I'm excited about the discussion, and I hope we'll be exploring more insights during the discussion, and I kind of encourage all of you to ask questions. And Alok, thank you so much. Thanks for inviting once again. So yeah. Thank you.
So I think let me look back 15 to 18 months back, when our first interaction happened, Ritu. When I first met you, I remember when you were evaluating AI driven technology platform, and we had various interactions and sessions, and I found outstanding clarity, with which you have provided why you are looking the new platform to be implemented at Grant Thornton and your expectations from the platform with clear eye on the outcome you need to drive using the AI driven technology. As we talk about the process of evaluating talent recruitment platform, so we were chosen by Grant Thornton and your team and we were definitely privileged to partner with you as your transformation journey to be your ATS partner. And I've seen the kind of impact not only you have brought in while evaluating the technology platform, but at the same time during the implementation phase, where you have yourself taken the mettle to drive the implementation along with your team. And of course, this is one of the best implementation we have done, which happened on time. And of course, with the clarity what you have during the implementation phase, which you spoke about your vision to me several times, how you want to really implement and drive the valuable outcome in form of time to hire, cost to hire, and quality hire. So I'm so glad to have you once again on, let me welcome you to this, webinar. And I'm sure our audience will love to hear from you about your vision to incorporate the AI-driven technology platform and the story of tremendous success you have achieved by implementing AI-driven technology. So welcome once again to you. And just to talk about when we spoke during those time, when we talk about the first question for you, which is going to come in just now, during the evolution stage, when you felt the need to, replace your existing ATS platform to AI-driven technology platform. Of course, one thing which you wanted to drive in that the bespoke workflows, which are good to have into the platform, but at the same time, how AI can play a crucial role in driving the outcome which we are looking to see in form of candidate engagement experience, and at the same time driving the metrics, which is time to hire, cost of hire, quality hire. So our audience will surely love to know about what challenges did you face with your previous ATS, and what key criteria did you consider when deciding to switch to a new one? And considering your recent experience where you have gone through evaluating multiple platforms, what advice would you give to organizations who are looking to either adopt a new applicant tracking system or switch from different ATS tool to a new tool? What key evaluation criteria should organizations consider when selecting an ATS that can adopt and cater to the future needs? Over to you.
Great. Thank you, Alok. I think there are too many questions, and it kind of summarize our entire story. That's how I look at it. But I'll keep it simple for the people, those who've joined and are part of this conversation. Alok, one thing is very important, which you yourself said, is the clarity. So I think when we were getting into the process, or when we were identifying the system, the first and the foremost thing, and it is applicable to everybody, is that world is constantly changing, and adaptability is the key to thrive in this kind of a world. And technology is changing at even faster pace. That's how we look at it. Also, whatever be you are looking at, or whatever be your need at the end of the day, if you can create or document or talk about that need in words, then certainly you can transform it in some form of technology. So I think that clarity of thought, first of all, is very important. Okay. How we went about it is, we certainly knew the pain points which we were facing at that time. And not necessary, to identify the pain point, you have to kind of get into the surveys or connect with the hiring manager at every now and then. I think being a leader, if you are on connected with the on the ground, you know what is happening on the ground, then certainly you know the pain points of your leaders. And we also knew what are some of our pain points. So for example, we were facing challenges about transparency, we were facing challenges related to scalability, we were facing challenges related to user experience. And if I look at my previous system, these were some of the challenges. So user experience was one of the challenge. It had a limited scalability. We knew that we'll not be able to scale it the way with, or the pace with which we are currently scaling up. And we were very well aware that the kind of analytics, the kind of transparency we want to bring in, and the vision we had for organization, it wasn't, we will not be able to align it with the existing system. And that's how we've kind of decided. I think for every user, before they kind of get into, or before they kind of decide for the system, the first and the foremost is the pain point. And from that pain point, they have to assess and identify their needs, and then set the clear goals. And once you set the clear goals, then of course you prioritize the features. For me, possibly the features was automation, user experience, and transparency. For Alok, the features could be different for you possibly, or for some other user. So that's how I look at it, and that's how we've decided, or we've switched to the new system. Yeah.
So I think that's great to understand. I know that you got urgency because the way you mentioned the technology has been changing. So it is very pertinent for the leaders to identify the gaps and take a timely decision. And of course, the way you've been massively hiring, it makes more pertinent for Grant Thornton to really bring those value propositions, to bring transparency, which you've talked about, scalability, and of course, the user experience is the key aspect. So one of the very important part which I see, the leaders who have been involved in the buying decision at the time of evolution of the platform, and how important and critical for them also to remain actively engaged and involved in the implementation process as well. And that's very important. What you have determined the outcome, possible outcome during the buying stage is being implemented the way you are really or the way you have really envisioned, right? So in my last 10 years of experience with Talent Recruit, of course, this year we had 1 decade of our journey of transforming talent acquisition using AI. I have observed the massive impact when leaders are involved in implementation process. The success rate are totally different vis-a-vis to when the leaders take a back seat and they just seeing at the sidelines the implementation process. Let me give you some of the data. As per 2023 McKinsey study, that has found that 70% of digital transformation projects fail, with a significant portion citing inadequate leadership involvement during implementation as a key reason. And as per the Gartner Research 2022, only 29% of IT initiatives achieve full success when leaders disengage post decision, compared to 58%, which is almost double, when leaders remain involved. Coming back to my experience during implementation of talent recruit platform, at Grant Thornton, I've seen huge active involvement from entire leadership team, including Satya, who has been partner and chief business officer, and you and other leaders from your TA and HR team, and they've been very actively involved in the entire implementation plan. Let me come point to the point or the next question what I have. What are the key guidelines for a successful ATS implementations, and what has been your experience in driving this process alongside with your project team? Please share your insights about your experience while driving through the implementation of talent recruit platform.
Yeah. So, Alok, you very rightly said, I don't, I mean, I think you very well summarized it, that when the leaders are themselves involved in the entire stage, which means that they are involved right from the buying till the implementation, and then, of course, the usage of the system. There is not only the better adoption of the system, you see that the outcome or the output of the product is better. And I think in our system we've seen that I think not only I'm not the only one who was involved at a implementation stage, but you very rightly said the CBO was also involved at the implementation stage. But of course the entire cycle, I've been involved throughout. What and how I look at it, and I'll be very fair and honest here, that despite the fact that we say that recruitment is a transformational role, it is highly transformational yet tactical at the same time, which means that the number of activities are very high. Okay. And that's why the technology is even more important. Okay. So if I look at from that perspective, it is very important for, for leaders to not only just be involved at a buying or a implementation stage or understanding the workflows, but involved at a tactical stage. Because if you'll not be involved at a tactical stage, the process is tactical, okay, then you will not be able to drive the success at the end of the day. So it's just not a transformative process, it is as well, it is highly tactical process. That's one. And when we were kind of working on it, and what were you asked me that what were the KPIs, how did we kind of decide, and what was our experience with the your team. See, key guidelines for my team and for our team was that our goals, we very well aligned the HR and the IT goals, which means that the IT team was helping us in implementing the product, but we very clearly know, and we laid out the goals for TA team as well as the IT team very clearly. I think that helped us a lot. Our workflow flows was very clearly defined much before we've started the implementation. I think that kind of gave a lot of clarity to the vendor at the end of the day. So that was there. We very well knew what kind of analytics or data we want to kind of pull out from the system, at least at the first, at immediate stage, in the sense that we'll kind of building on that data. But initially, what we want to kind of get from the system immediately, or what is the most important thing, that's there. Then from a talent recruit side, and Alok, I mean, commendable job done by your team, hats off to you. But from a talent recruit side, our experience, what I've kind of really like is that your leadership team and you yourself have been thoroughly involved, and I think that helped us a lot. I kind of say that we've been a demanding customer, and like I said, in this world where the technology is, it's a constantly changing world, and technology is changing even faster. So how I look at it is that we were looking at a system which is highly customizable. We were looking at a system which is highly configurable, and we were very demanding in those areas. I think so. Your team has there were frequent feedback iteration loops, but the team was supportive, and it really helped us a lot. And last but not the least, we pilot tests, we invested a lot in trainings and all. So that kind of help us, made it run successfully at the end of the day.
No, I think thank you very much for appreciating our team's effort. And of course, we always love the customers who are more demanding. It means that they are very serious to adopt technology. And we at Talent Recruit have the DNA to very closely work, as an extended team of our customers every time, all the time. And that's how we bring the agility, we bring that excitement, and we bring that commitment to ensure that our customers realize the success with which they have really taken up our platform forward. And we definitely take pride in seeing the success stories of our customers. So thank you for your kind words for us. So coming back to, we spoke about of course buying decision and implementation. So what is important in the perspective of bringing the change management post implementation, which is very, very key for the leaders, because it's not an easy task for sure. And many times business output, what you need to drive using a technology platform or implementing a technology platform may not be the same if the change management process is not well driven and adoption of the platform is not effectively achieved. The role of the leaders become therefore very crucial to drive this particular change management process. So I have myself seen the way your entire leadership team involved in Grant Thornton's in the change management process post implementation, and the way you continue to drive till today, post almost 9 months of implementing the Recruit platform is commendable. Our audience will love to know what was your experience with you already spoke about, some of the experience, with adopting Talent Recruit platform or overall as an ATS or technology platform, and what are the key factors to drive successful ATS adoption? And could you please share some of the insights on how to encourage broader adoption of an ATS?
Sure. So, Alok, I think one of the most important thing when we are talking about the broader adoption is, and I will talk about some of the measures we've picked up. For example, we've done, like I said, we've invested a lot in training and it was just not for the recruiter but for the hiring manager. Then I think as a leaders, it is very important. See who's working on the ground at the end of the day. Recruiter is working on the ground, and it is very important that they understand the importance of the system and the adoption of the system, because they will only be communicating it to the hiring manager. So we made sure that uh, recruiters or the people those who are working on ground with the hiring manager spend more time and talk about the system, and they act as a brand ambassador where the system is concerned. We've done extensive campaigns related to the system, spoke about the features, done sessions individually for the teams. So all these measures kind of help us in the adoption of the system faster. Also, I'm not sure, but at BU level, how many people does that? So we've kind of explicitly kind of presented the system to the hiring managers as and when we were getting the chance. For example, if hiring managers are coming for the recruitment call, we were presenting the kind of the reports they can pull out from the system. And once they have a view, then obviously they go back to the system and they were using it. So although these things kind of really help us a lot during adoption or post adoption. And from a recruitment team standpoint, what we've observed that the moment they see the moment they realize that they can do something faster with the system, or for example they can spend their time more in building a relationship with the candidate rather than doing the administrative tasks, then they themselves adopt the system. So I think that's there, we've shown that to them. So all these things worked for us very well.
So I think, as you
Oh,
rightly
yeah,
mentioned.
very well presented, Alok. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I think as you rightly mentioned, I remember a lot of time the TA leaders talk about the confrontation they have their hiring managers, and there is
Absolutely,
always
absolutely.
to and fro. Okay, hey, you gave me
Yeah,
the job late, or the job
absolutely.
was on hold, or the job information got changed. So when we talk about, and you specifically mentioned two things. One, how you have taken a lot of efforts to go to the hiring manager and they're buying in, and the way the stakeholders experience you have driven to drive the outcome, and the transparency which you spoke about in your conversation, that has brought more collaborative approach than confrontation approach. So glad to see
Absolutely.
that impact of technology could convert the confrontation into the collaboration. Am I right?
Absolutely, Alok, very rightly picked up. So, how I put it is that, I give a very small example for most of the TA leaders, and, I will talk about some of the matrices, and, some of the matrices are listed here possibly. But look at this way that recruitment, when I mean, I think as a leader, it's a responsibility to understand that we have to improve the productivity of the recruitment team, and they have to spend more time on engaging with the candidate rather than doing the administrative task. I think that's the biggest of the KPI for somebody who's driving a entire recruitment function. But then, if I kind of go back to the matrices, everybody is chasing time to hire, everybody is chasing cost, everybody is trying to build the candidate experience, and that's given. And how do you kind of build that with the system? See, one of the biggest advantage of the system, something that can be measured, can be managed. So what you can measure gets managed. That's how I look at it. And system has bring in that kind of transparency. When you are kind of presenting a data and you're saying that recruiter is spending 10 days and hiring manager is spending 2 days, you can certainly address some of the leakages in the process. So that's how I look at it, and you can drive the matrices at the end of the day with system.
Awesome. I know the very first interactions you spoke the similar things, the I'm so glad that you are able to commendably able to drive that particular piece of hiring metrics, the time to hire, and kudos to you, because your dashboard and your the kind of BI reports inside which you have anticipated through the platform are giving you that insight to really, taking the right decisions in your hiring process. So I know that, Ritu, you have been one of the very few TA leaders, who is data driven, and all the data is in your fingertips. That talk about your deep involvement as a TA leader to see how you want to drive the outcome better than the previous day using technology. And as you mentioned, then some of the very key intrinsic part of the technology is not only with respect to optimize and define the workflow, that is the given, but at the same time, how you drive the stakeholders experience. And in today's world, when everybody eyeing the talent in a different manner, and the scarcity of talent we talk about the experience which candidates want to really see, and how you are your recruiters, rather than getting into involved into the manual process, their major focus go into the candidate engagement and how you can really attract the top talent to drive your business needs and take your business to the next level. So let me come to a straight question. As someone who is data driven as you have worked extremely or extensively on the key metrics like diversity hiring, aging, or quality hiring parameters. How have you successfully driven these metrics? Could you share some more specific insights? Of course, you spoke about it on time to hire, cost of hire, and other metrics you have been able to improve in last 1 year of time.
So, great question, Alok. And I think most of the leaders end up asking this from us. So, like I said, and I will begin with. So, let's first look at the matrices. Let's say time to hire. Time to hire is one of the most important matrices for us. And how do we kind of, what we were doing versus what are we doing? I will not kind of, let's not get in terms of numbers, but quickly I just tell you that how we address it. So, first and foremost is what we can now the best part is that we can measure everything stage wise. And I think like I said, what gets measured gets managed. Okay, so the first and the foremost is that at every stage we know that what is the leakage in the process. We know what is the lacuna in the process, and then we can address it, which means that, for example, let's say stage wise my hiring manager is spending 5 days or my recruiter is spending 5 days in submitting resume. You can address it, you can talk about it, because system is so transparent and it kind of captures the data at every stage. So your matrices won't change. It will continue to be time to hire, or but obviously the number of days gets reduced and that impacts your efficiency. That's one. Similarly, the cost optimization. Okay, we were looking, when we looked at the data and when we looked at our channels, we've also realized which are few of the underperforming channels. Okay, because we were getting all the data from each and every source. System is acting as a one-stop solution for us. So we know very well that which of the channels are underperforming and are not doing well, and we try to kind of eliminate that from the process. So these are some of the ways with which you can make your process more efficient. Okay, and build efficiencies at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think well said. Once, I like your repeated messages like what get measured can get addressed, right?
Absolutely,
Or
absolutely.
managed. And glad that you are able to get entire insight, now, and that insight can help you take the right decision, to understand how you can really address those challenges. And I'm pretty sure that with the way you have been driving various channels for sourcing, whether be it employee referral or through other sources, that has been really bringing a lot of fruitful results for you. So glad to hear those stories. So my follow-up question to you on the same would be, what advice would you give to TA leaders on these key metrics you spoke about, right? That they should focus on when adopting an ATS, and how can these metrics can provide useful insights that help you transform the hiring process to improve quality hires, turnaround time, to be reduced, and the cost efficiency which you want to really achieve.
So I give you a small example here, Alok. For example, let's look at talent recruit only, and we have Erica, which is wherein the bot itself kind of engage with the candidate, and that kind of save a lot of recruiters' time. For example, we get, let's say there are 100 resumes which are matching one of the job. Then Erica itself kind of engage with the candidate, and recruiter saves a lot of time in kind of they know that which all candidates are interested. Okay, so these are some of the system features which are very helpful. Like I said, our matrices remains the same, which means then when we were evaluating the system, we were looking at some of the matrices which includes user experience, time to hire. We were also looking at let's say transparency. These are some of the things, these are some of the features we were looking at. And from the KPI standpoint, the most important KPI for us is our cost of hire, diversity hiring, our TAT, our efficiency of our source mix, and all these were our KPI. So these were some of the KPI we were addressing when we were evaluating the system or when we were using the system. And how system really helped us is one of the example I just gave you. It is kind of helping the recruiter or saving the recruiter's time and efficiency. Similarly, we can measure a lot of things with the system that is helping us. We are driving a lot of changes through the system in terms of behavior at both the end, which means at a recruiter end as well as at the hiring managers end, because you know what is working, what is not working for you in the process, which previously we were not aware of. So I think all these things together bring a lot of efficiency and effectiveness in the process. That's how.
That's so rightly mentioned by you, and of course so glad to hear that, as you mentioned, how Erica has been able to bring that impact in terms of automated engagement and sourcing. So I'm pretty sure the time which your team is able to save can be best utilized in terms of driving the outstanding experience, which you are really looking at one of the key metrics as well. So glad to hear again you talk about diversity. My next question, of course, we are talking about diversity. So diversity and inclusion, have become, very key priorities for organizations, aiming to build the diverse workforce. So kudos to your GT team, Ritu, for successfully developing and implementing impactful diversity programs such as, which I know, Wings, Return to Purple. It is truly inspiring to see the way GT has driven those DEI initiatives and setting a remarkable example in the industry. So let me take you to the next question on DEI hiring, the Grant Thornton Wings program, which is a great example on how you support women returning to the workforce after a career break. Can you share how the company's broader DEI initiatives alongside programs like Wings help create an environment where women not only re-enter the workforce, but thrive and grow in their careers? What advice would you give to organizations looking to build similar inclusive cultures, including maybe, I'm pretty sure you
So,
could be
yeah. So,
looking at maybe
yeah.
LGBTI as another diversity program you could be probably running.
Yeah. So Alok, first of all, I would like to kind of talk about little bit about what the Wings program is. It's one of the most powerful initiatives we run at the organization level. It is designed to support women, those who would like to return to the workforce after a career break, and the program focuses on providing a structured pathway to re-enter the workforce, or to basically align these women candidate again to the careers. So that's how some of the I think unique feature or standout feature of the program, that it focuses a lot on skill rebuilding and upskilling. uh, One of the most important thing because of which the program is successful is that it is provides a flexible work options to these workers. And then uh, at the end of the day, there are a lot of mentorship and coaching. So women returning to the work may feel disconnected sometime, and we provide a lot of mentorship and coaching to these employees. There are a lot of networking and community building efforts which we are taking at the organization level for these employees. And there are tailored career pathways for these employees at the end of the day. So I think, if at all, I don't know, I wouldn't kind of call it advice, but these are some of the methods which worked for us. If you want to kind of employ or any such program, or if you want to deploy such program, something which worked, I think, or which truly stand out for us is that, like I said, flexibility or flexible work arrangement for women at the end of the day, creating a safe and supportive environment for them, and then providing access to the skill development. So I think all these things kind of worked in our case, and that's why the program is so successful.
That's awesome to know because, many times we see the real approach of bringing inclusivity, versus the, show off, way of bringing that inclusivity. Because nowadays I've seen most of the organizations, the way the output is driven when you are truly diverse and inclusive. Because now when we're looking at the diverse workforce in two manners differently, which I see one in terms of type of hire you do, maybe perm contract or gig is going to be the bigger one
Yeah.
now, because
Yeah.
by 2030, India will have more than 10% workforce as the gig workforce.
Gig
And then we talk
workforce.
about the diverse, not only in terms of the women inclusivity, we're talking about now LGBTI and differently abled or maybe other kind of disabilities we talk about them. And so glad to see the way you have been able to bring that difference, especially for the women during through those programs. But I would love to know, do you also run similar programs for other community like disability or maybe like LGBTI? Because now this is very popular outside India, but India is still, getting used to those kind of different environment or work environment the world is talking about.
Absolutely, Alok. So we're working a lot, and as a at a firm level, we have a lot of focus on diversity. And I'm not talking about diversity to a specific gender. That's not what I'm talking about. So we also, the firm has a lot of focus on PWD, which means people with disabilities, and we kind of give a lot of chance to them. Not only chance to them, in terms of, I think. Like I said, the most important thing is providing them the safe environment. Also, flexible work opportunities. We have a reasonable accommodation policy in place. We're giving that kind of infrastructure to them, and we already have workforce integrated in the system. So which comes with the different walks. That's how I look at it. So I think organization has a lot of focus. Mom has a lot of focus. We're working on these areas. So yeah, so that's how it is. Yeah.
So glad to hear. In fact, in at Talent Recruit also, we have the similar flexibility we provide because
Yeah.
post-COVID, the things have been much different because a lot of things have been taught through various, challenges which you face. COVID was one of them, and I think that has given a lot of opportunities for a lot of people who were not able to come into the real workforce, sitting in different part of the or maybe the interior part of the country. Now they are the part of the mainstream workforce in India. I think the remote workforce has really enabled and empowered the GDP also, because that's very important for us to see that we get the participation as a workforce from every category of the people who are part of the society. So I'm going to see that big impact through these DEI initiatives the organizations like you are making. And these are the not only statement, these are the way the organization should drive the culture to bring the inclusivity all around. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
so thanks, I think, giving those kind of insights, in terms of how you have been driving, your website. I've seen the career opportunities. It talks and speaks volume about these programs. So let me come to my final concluding questions. Where that pertains to, of course, you spoke about during our conversation and discussions, the experience you got, in through Talent Recruit team as well as through Talent Recruit platform. And I would like to understand, maybe as a final discussion point before we take up some of the questions. Okay, as you know that in today's fast-paced and competitive environment, agility and innovations are the key to success of any platform that you talk about. For a hiring solution to remain impactful, it must involve continuously introducing new features, updates, upgrades, or enhancements that addresses the ever-changing, needs for the organizations. So based on your experience till today, how effectively has Talent Recruit been adding those continuous value to your hiring process and making your process more strengthened and meaningful? Love to understand that as well.
See, I tell you what, Alok, and I'll be very honest. I think when we were deciding and while we are using it, one of the most important thing about the product at the end of the day is that it is customizable. It's highly customizable, configurable. Scalability is other thing which I look at and kind of really, that's great about the product. We also believe that. I think the integration for us was easy when we kind of opt for the product. The involvement of the leadership team, was great, and that kind of made us, So other than anything, for all of us, those who are driving the recruitment or those who are driving the TA in their respective organization, they have their, unique challenges or unique pain points and goals. But I think it remains same. A few of the things remain same for all of us, which means, the product should be customizable, it should be configurable, it should be easily integrated in the system. At the end of the day, there has to have a regular updates, which means that there has to have a regular features which are kind of getting updated in the product. It should kind of compete with what is happening in the market at a very fast pace, which is there in your product. And I think that kind of really help us a lot. And that's how I look at it. And overall, it kind of then improving the efficiency and impacting our user experiences.
So thank you for your kind words, and in fact, we are so glad that we are able to contribute in the process that what you are running in Grant Thornton, and we are definitely adding some value to your hiring process and to your success story. I'm pretty sure the kind of team you have, the kind of vision your organization and you have for bringing in top talent to your organization, Grant Thornton is going to see tremendous success from India contribution to the global, value proposition, and people like you who have made tremendous, difference in organizations, not only bringing that talent, timely to the system, but at the same time bringing that long-term visibility, the processes to strengthen, and the agility to think, to continuously evolve, and continuously thinking about adopting technologies to take on new challenges that emerge every day during our TA function. So kudos to you and your team for driving the outstanding success story. I'm pretty sure a lot of our viewers and audience, which is now and of course through our efforts, will come to know your output in terms of what you have driven in terms of the hiring metrics numbers, at the same time what value you as a TA function delivering to your organization. So thank you very much. Now I'd love to, maybe if you want to add something, but I will have to take some of the questions which are posted on this. Let me see some of the questions and take it up. Guys, if you are there, please feel free to keep adding some of the questions. We still have some time. So, okay, so let me take the first question, which has come from Saket. What metrics should we track to measure the success of the ATS after its implementation? What are the biggest challenge you foresee in implementing and scaling AI solutions within your recruitment process?
Okay, all right. So, Saket, thanks. Lovely question. See, I don't think that matrices change. It's just the efficiency which kind of change, which means that, for example, as a TA leader, if you are at an organization level, or measuring uh, time to hire, if you're measuring cost, if you're measuring, let's say, user experience, which means hiring manager satisfaction rates and candidate satisfaction rate, you'll continue to do that. But with the system, you try to kind of see that how it has improved for you. Will you be able to kind of arrest the cost? Will you be able to kind of, drive efficiency in terms of time? So I think these are some of the matrices which we follow as an organization. I think broadly all the TA leaders follow the same set of matrices, but it's just that how the system kind of improve or kind of help us in building efficiencies in those matrices is what changes after the implementation of the system.
Great, great. I think you touched upon now while I take the next question, some of the points already. So there's a question from Manoj. What are the most common challenges organizations face when they implement a new ATS, and how can we avoid them? Can you share some real-time examples and obstacles and how to overcome that?
Yeah. So, see, I'll be very honest, although in our organization at a firm level, it wasn't the change, but in some of the real-time examples, I mean, in some of the examples, I mean, I will talk about my own examples, but see, broadly, you'll see sometime a resistance to change, which means that, hiring managers are comfortable sending the resumes on the system. They may be comfortable parking the referral to the recruiter and asking them to upload. So the biggest change is, or the biggest challenge, if I may put it, is the resistance to change. And how do you address how I think communication and over communication is the only way to kind of address it. That's one way. Secondly, like I said, in our organization, we've done a lot of campaigns, we've invested a lot in trainings, we've spent a lot of time. In fact, so much so that we've done small batches training. The recruiters, there are team leads for various BUs. They've invested time with the hiring managers. So it works only when you keep showing them, keep going back to them, keep telling them that, how the system is building transparency. Every time if they're coming back to you saying that this is not happening, then, you can kind of prove them with the system that, look, it is better if you use this, and that's how it is efficient. So that's how it worked for us, and I think that's what kind of helped us.
That's great to know. So I'll take another question from Murga. How do you ensure the automation does not compromise the personal touch in recruitment?
Yeah, I think so. This is an amazing question, very close to my heart. I think automation is essentially uh, about moving all the things which are administrative in nature to the system, and you can let that human touch be with the recruiter. See, the idea is to give recruiter that kind of a time, and I think as a leader, one of the most important matrices to identify the or to evaluate is that how can you give or give more time to the recruiter to engage with the candidate or to connect with the potential talent. That's how I look at it. Building relationship, because recruitment is a lot about building relationship at the end of the day. And all the mundane and the administrative tasks can be moved to the system. So how did we ensure is basically, like I said, you have to define your workflows in such a manner, you have to create your workflows in such a manner that most of the administrative tasks can be moved to automation. For example, we just talked about Erica kind of engage with the candidate and let us know that these many people are interested, and then recruiter connect with them. So we're saving a lot of time, recruiters time, in kind of reviewing the resume and all those things. So that's one such example. Similarly, while getting the resume, there's an automated process, in the sense we get all the resume back in the system directly, so they don't need to kind of respond. There is an automated system. If we get a referral through the email, that can automatically be integrated in the system. So a lot of these things where recruiter was spending time, we're not doing that anymore, and that is how we've defined our workflows.
That's great. That's awesome to know. Thank you very much for clarifying. So I think one question from Sashi is with how do AI and machine learning powered solutions within ATS enhance the efficiency, accuracy, and effectiveness of the hiring process, and what impact will they have on the on traditional hiring practices?
Very interesting question. So I think Sashi, yet to see what impact but broadly what I have seen in terms of impact so far is, like I said, that certainly it build more efficiencies. That's one. Uh, Administrative tasks can be automated. That is, I mean, that's given. Now we know that it we don't need to get into a administrative task, and the process will, like I said in the beginning, it is a transactional process because the activity is very high. But with time you see that it will become more transformative than transactional. That's how I look at it. If you kind of upgrade yourself for that transformation, you will remain relevant in the game.
Great, great. Absolutely. I think bang on. Another question from Vasu is how do we ensure that an ATS is adaptable to future needs, especially with technological changes like AI and automation? I think you touched upon during our discussion. Maybe you'd like to have some final points.
So how do we ensure that an ATS is adaptable to future needs, especially with the technological changes? See, uh, how do we ensure? I don't know, but one thing is for sure, that the product team itself should be should be aware of the market changes, and they should bring in a lot of customization or a lot of feature updates. And that's what I just spoke about, that the product team, the talent recruit, the biggest advantage with them, that they bring they are so well aligned with the market, and they keep getting updated as and when there are changes or in the market. So to give you a very small example here, for example, while we were kind of working with them on various features, and if we have anything specific to the reports or the data, we kind of go back to them and they make changes, or they ensure that it kind of adapt to our need. So that's how it is. And that's what works for, I think, user as well as for the vendor. That's how I look at it.
Okay. So we still have some time. So I would like to ask a question, maybe probably. So we've of course asked a lot of questions. So with curiosity, so a lot of time when we talk about technology advancement, AI, and of course when you have been especially driving the DEI initiatives, people talk about bias, I'm pretty sure that in your organization, you must have come across, or maybe elsewhere, you must have read across, some sort of bias exists, conscious or unconscious. First, my question is, have you witnessed that kind of experience in real, world scenario? And second, do you think that talent recruit, which provide, of course, 56 diversity reports at every stage, how you've been really transiting, especially the diverse candidate, do you think that that has really aided value to you
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
ensuring that bias does not exist?
Absolutely, Alok. I think it really helps, and there is a bias in the process. I wouldn't deny that. So till see, how I look at it, talent. See, hiring or recruitment, any process which involves high intervention of humans will have a bias. You can't kind of remove bias from the process. That's how. But how, as a leader, I think the responsibilities, can we address that bias? Can we arrest that bias? Do we know where the bias is happening? I think that's more important. Then only you can, add some changes, or you can make some changes in the process, or you can bring in some quantifiable measures. So certainly, the reports, the analytics, the data, especially the diversity report, it is so exhaustive right from the application stage till the offer stage. I think at every level we know what are our cuts in terms of diversity, which means that we very clearly know that how many applicants are coming in the pool, how many applicants are shortlisting or submitted at each level, how many applicants are getting rejected. And these are the diversity numbers we have visibility. And if we see leakages in the process at any stage, we kind of address it, we talk about it, we highlight it. That certainly helps. And like I said, there is a bias there. There is always a bias in the process. It remains in the process. I mean, we can't kind of completely omit, but we can certainly address it. That's how I look at it with the data,
Just
with
to
the
also
help of
tell
data.
you, just to add value, we have AI governance model as well as a talent recruit. And we keep on auto-correcting a lot of value which comes through our platform in terms of matching and rating and ranking, so that the system does not bring any consciousness or unconscious bias from the
Bias in
users
the
to the
process.
platform. So that has been
Absolutely.
our conscious effort to bring that value. And we are one of the few platforms in the world which bring that AI governance model. So another follow-up question, because since we have time. Uh, First of all, let me once again congratulate you the way you have driven the system. I have no hesitation to say you are the best governed platform or best used platform, best adopted platform. What it demonstrated in terms of the output you are seeing, everything you have been driving through the platform. Having seen you implemented last 9 months, the kind of output and results, of course, Grant Thornton is a global organization, right? Do you think that comparing to the global other peers in your other regions, you stand out well, ready, prepared to acquire talent, and how you have been able to share your India success story and what has been a differentiator within the organization at different regions of the world? I love to understand those inputs or maybe data point you want to share.
Yeah, I think I spoke at length about all most of it, but I don't know. I mean, um, I'm not sure that whether I can say that we stand out, but one thing I know for sure is that we've adopted the system extensively. What I'm proud of is that the team I work with, they have kind of well versed with the system, and they themselves are not only aware of the system, but they've kind of extensively work on the ground when users have to adopt the system at the end of the day. uh, we're happy with the fact that we went with talent recruit. Like I said, the product is highly customizable. The leadership team is highly involved with us, and certainly from a scalability standpoint, as a next step, we look at kind of evaluating additional modules which are kind of aligned with the bigger organization objective. So when I look at the organization objective today, what is our biggest focus area is we want to kind of scale in terms of numbers. And when I started to today, when I look at it, we are kind of growing in terms of number at a very fast pace. So whatever we were doing with, let's say, the X number of recruiter a year back, we were doing, maybe 25 or 30% more than that in terms of a total number of hires with the same number of recruiters. And that's only because we've kind of, the technology has come in place, and, we were able to bring in that efficiency through technology. So, I don't know if that's a success story. I'm not sure, Alok, but all I can say is, it's the adoption, it's adherence, it's a compliance, and streamlining, or it's a one-stop solution we are running at the end of the day. And kudos to the team which is kind of running it and adopting it on the ground. That's how I look at it.
Absolutely. I know that the leader is as good as the team. I'm pretty sure the way you've driven your team to get you driving that kind of results and outcomes, so commendable. So let me take this opportunity to first of all thank you, and the kind of unmatched energy and enthusiasm you have, so probably I would be falling short in showing and match up to your energy and
Amazing. No, thank you so
enthusiasm.
much, Alok. Thanks. It was my privilege. And like I said, I think it's a great beginning to the new year. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Really appreciate the way you have responded to different questions, talked about your strategy, how you have been successfully able to drive, a lot of value to your organization using technology. And so glad and so privileged that we are part of your successful journey in some manner. And we'll continue to ensure you that we are there, and we'll continue to bring that agility in your hiring process, and we love to collaborate further to drive further value and better adoption, and to make more success to your process outcomes here and onwards. So thank you very much, everyone, for being there for an hour, have the patient hearing from all both of us, and asking so many questions as well. So we believe that you must have got a lot of insights if you are the organization looking to adopt the newer technology, new ATS, or the guidelines to understand how you should drive technology or better adoption of the product which you have been already using. I'm sure you would have got a lot of insights. So thank you very much for your time. And Ritu, once again, really appreciate and looking forward. Have a fabulous new year to you, your team, your family, and Grant Thornton team across India, across the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alok. Thank you. Privilege was all mine. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining in. It was nice
Bye-bye.
talking to you, Alok. Yeah, thank you so much.